Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. My name is Andrea and today we are going to do a full face of old favorites. These are going to be favorites of mine from like 2015, 16, and 17. A lot of these are YouTube beauty favorites as well because I've been a long time beauty YouTube watcher. So let's dive right into the face. So for primer, we have two. First is the Becca Backlight Priming Filter. I have been through one or two of these, and as you can see, this bottle is probably about down to here. And then on top of that, we're gonna put this Hourglass Veil Mineral Primer. I've been through one or two of these as well, and this is the huge jumbo size, so you can tell that I really liked it to have bought that size. So I'm just gonna put the Becca one all over the face. Is this gone? And I don't know it? This is almost empty, y'all. I did not know that. I love a glowy primer. This one smells so good too. This Hourglass primer used to be my ultimate favorite when I had really oily skin. I don't have oily skin anymore. I get a little bit oily, but not as much as I used to. So I'm just taking this in the T-zone on my nose, on the sides of my nose, on the forehead, and then a little on the sides of the chin. So while we let that sink in, I'm gonna hop to the eyes real quick. So for eyeshadow primer, we're using the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion in Eden. This was hot on YouTube. Everyone used this. So for eyeshadow, we have an oldie but a goodie, a YouTube favorite and everyone favorite. It's the Anastasia Beverly Hills Modern Renaissance palette. I'm not gonna lie, I have not used this in at least a year, it feels like. So I'm really excited to dive back into this and maybe play with some shades that I haven't played with before. So let's zoom you in. So let's go into Golden Ochre. I'm gonna go in with Burnt Orange. One of the reasons why I like the ABH formula so much is because you can literally slap it on with like any brush and it blends out pretty easily. That's part of the reason why the formula is so powdery, I think, is to be able to blend it really well. So next I'm gonna dive into Real Gar. I never used to use this shade. I think I was scared of it, but I use way brighter stuff than this nowadays. That's nice. I'm gonna go in with a little bit of Warm Taupe and see if I can deepen up that crease just a little bit. Oh wow, that like completely covered up the Real Gar shade. Interesting. I'm gonna go back in with a little bit of Real Gar, try to get some of that orange back in. So now I'm gonna take my NYX glitter glue and I'm gonna put a little bit of that on the lid. I'm gonna go in with Primavera on my finger. So I'm gonna take a little bit of red ochre and real gar, and I'm gonna blend out the outer corner a little bit. And I think I'm gonna go into Love Letter and add that in the crease as well. I wanna play with these pinks and reds. That looks real nice. I like it. I am going to try to do a little bit of a liner with these pinky red shades. So I'll probably mix red ochre, Venetian red, and Love Letter and kind of see what I can get. Maybe a little bit of Cypress Umber as well to deepen. So I just did that little wing with Venetian red, Love Letter, and Cypress Umber. I'm kind of doing the Katie Jane Hughes method for hooded eyes, where I leave my eyes like completely flat, like I'm not raising them up or opening the lid, and then I'm drawing the wing on over my fold, so it looks a little weird when you have your eye open, but when your eye is relaxed it looks really good. Man, that looks so pretty. I've never done anything that looks like this with this palette. I have a feeling I'm going to be pulling this palette out a lot and using it a lot this fall. So let's move on to brows. And we have two more ABH products, but these used to be my holy grails, and it's the Brow Wiz and the Clear Brow Gel. So I'm going to start with the Brow Wiz, and I have the shade Soft Brown. I also have the shade Dark Brown, and I might mix that in the tail just a little bit. First, I'm gonna brush them up, I always start with brushing up my brows. I love this pencil so much. It never lets me down. I feel like I try so many other brow products that I don't use this often enough anymore, but when I go back to it, it literally never fails me. I know it's expensive and a lot of other brow pencils are cheaper. And I'm not saying like you can't go out and find something just as good, but Ulta typically puts these on sale during 21 Days of Beauty, and they're $10, which is basically the price of like a cheaper drugstore version. And I used to just stock up on them then, so why not? I'm just brushing through all of that quickly, so there's no real harsh lines. So I'm gonna go in with the brow gel now. I used to really enjoy this, and it used to hold my hairs up pretty well, but I haven't used it in a while. We'll see. I'm glad I'm trying this again because I feel like it was one of the only brow gels that used to hold my brow hairs in place. And I've been struggling with that again lately, finding something that does that for me. So now we're gonna move on to the complexion for a few minutes. This used to be my favorite foundation of all time. I wore it on my wedding day and I love it so, so much. And I tried it the other day, so I kind of cheated, but I was so shocked with how much I still loved it. So it's the Too Faced Born This Way. And I have the shade Light Beige. I'm gonna do 2 pumps, and I'm gonna use the Tarte Beauty puff because it is my favorite way to apply foundation. So now for concealer, we're gonna go in with a product that was so hyped on YouTube that I think everyone had it. It's the MAC Pro Long Wear Concealer. Everyone always complained about this having a pump because you can't control how much comes out. Uh-oh. I don't know if mine works. Okay, so the pump isn't working on that, and I can't get the lid off. So we're gonna switch to a different one, and it's one that again, this had more hype than that, but it's Tarte Shape Tape. I've used this on my eyelids lately for eyeshadow primer, but I have not used this for concealer on my face in a very long time. So we shall see. And I have the shade Light. You do not need a lot of this. I'm going to start with that and see how far it goes on my face. You see how little these teeny tiny dots are that I used? You do not need a lot. I feel like people go ham with this so unnecessarily. Well, that looks really nice. I'm definitely not mad at it. So let's go ahead and go finish the lower lash line. I'm gonna go back into these two and Cypress Ember, and I'm gonna add that to the lower lash line really tight. So I'm gonna go in with a small pencil brush and a little bit of raw sienna and warm taupe. I'm gonna blend that out. So I'm gonna warm that up a little bit with Realgar. So I'm gonna add some of Vermeer to the inner corner. So I think that's it for the eyes. I don't have a mascara to use, so I'm gonna hop off camera and do that real quick and I'll be right back. Okay, so I wanted to add some eyeliner with you guys in the waterline. This is the Julep Gel Eyeliner, Eye Glider in the shade Rich Brown. And I feel like I went through a couple of these, but these pencils are so good. I feel like nobody talks about them. Julep was a nail, well, is. Julep is a nail polish company that also started doing makeup, and I believe that they do Korean makeup, if I'm not mistaken. Okay, I had to Google it just because I couldn't remember. But yes, it's Korean skincare and Korean makeup. And so they started as a nail company, and they used to do a subscription box, and I used to get their subscription box because I love nail polish. And they started doing makeup, and I would start getting makeup in my boxes. So that's the reason why I've tried some of their stuff. They're not a super popular brand, but I've actually seen them in Target recently, so that's pretty cool. But yeah, this eyeliner, like, look how creamy that is. It's incredible. They have great eyeliners. Can you guys tell I'm ready for fall with this look? I feel like I'm just ready for like vampiness and chilly weather, so I can like sit outside on my patio and read a book or listen to music or something. Okay, so let's move on to cheek products. So I'm gonna go in with bronzer first, I think. So this was a huge favorite. I hit pan on a lot of bronzers because I like bronzer, but this is the Park Avenue Princess by Tarte. It just is inside this little trio, but it's their normal matte bronzer. Actually, I'm going to use two bronzers today because that's what I always do. Something matte, something shimmery. I'm just going to pat. I forgot how good this is. It's such a nice shade too. Oh, look how gorgeous that is. People don't talk about this bronzer anymore either. I feel like they should. I think more people are into shimmery bronzers nowadays. So matte ones aren't getting all the love necessarily. And obviously, I think this is the only shade that Tarte has. They need to expand their shade range and come out with shades for deeper skin tones. But this shade will work for a variety of different skin tones. I would say through medium, it can get pretty dark. Ooh, that's nice. I'm gonna do just a little on the nose. Next is probably my favorite bronzer of all time. So it's been a long time favorite. I've been through one before, and that's saying a lot because there's so much product in this, and you can see the indentation, and it's the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Bronzers. These are so beautiful, like just gorgeous and super pigmented. So a little bit goes a long way. I love this bronzer. This is the shade Luminous Bronze Light. This is the shade that I use in the summertime. In the wintertime, I use Diffused Bronze Light. This shade in the wintertime suits me much better. It's a lot less orangey on fair skin tones. So if you're super pale, I recommend this shade over the Luminous Bronze Light. But if you're a light to medium skin toned, the Luminous Bronze Light is fabulous. So for blush, this was also a YouTube favorite. We have the Milani Rose Blush in Romantic Rose. Everyone was so excited about these petal indentations, like this gorgeous little design in the pan. And I went hard with this bronzer. Blush. I went hard with this blush. There's another blush in this line that's like a super bright corally shade, and I loved that as well. This is definitely more like a fall look for me. I typically only do like mauve blushes in the fall and winter time, but they are some of my favorites. That's mostly what I wear in the fall and winter. Oh, such a good blush. Still good. I feel like I've had mostly winners today. Was there anything bad that I've used so far? No, everything has been good. That doesn't always happen, but these were tried and true favorites for a reason. So now for highlighter. This is also a favorite. Mine is all beat up and gross. It's the Laura Gellar Gilded Honey. This was so hyped on YouTube. So hyped. It's gorgeous. It's a beautiful shade. Super pretty. So MAC had come out with Whisper of Guilt, and Estee Lauder had come out with Heat Wave as limited edition items, and everyone was searching for something similar, and this came along, and it is a dupe for those. It's a gorgeous golden shade, but everyone was going wild over this because it was a dupe for those. But it is just really a gorgeous highlighter. I don't get as much use out of it as I should, but highlighter is one of my favorite things in my collection, so unless it's like a tippy top favorite, I don't get as much use out of it as I should. I'm gonna spray my brush real quick with MAC Fix Plus. There we go. Amanda Insing always uses this highlighter and sprays her brush with MAC Fix Plus. But it really does just help smooth out the powder and make it look a little bit more skin-like. Wow, that's so pretty. I really should use that more often. So now for lips, we have quite a few options. I'm gonna kind of put a lip color together with you guys that kind of matches this look. So MAC lip liners used to be my jam, specifically Soar, Whirl, and Dervish. So we have Dervish, Whirl, and Soar. And what am I? So I think I'm gonna go with Soar today. Well, let's pick out a lip color as well. This was also YouTube hyped for me. The Jouer lip creams. These are so good. I could not get enough. I have like 15 or 20 shades of these still. I think I'm gonna end up using Petal de Rose today. This is Tawny Rose. They always had so many good nudes. And their shimmer shades are surprisingly really gorgeous. This is Praline. This was a shade that I wore all the time. It's so pretty. And this shade was so unique. It's Papaya or Papai. Get a little more. It is golden, but it flashes like pinky rose. So pretty. I think I'm gonna go with Pétale de Rose, but I'm gonna line my lips and fill them all the way in with MAC Soar first. I could just leave that the way that it is, but I'm gonna add a little bit of this Jouer on top and Pétale de Rose. I'm just gonna put some on the back of my hand and then pat it on with my finger. So I don't know if I need powder today, but we're gonna put some on anyways. This is the Laura Mercier Translucent. This got good hype for good reason. I've been through several of these. I specifically loved it when I was oily. Now that I'm a little bit more dry, I'm not sure if my skin is gonna like it as much, but it used to contain my oils really, really well. And it blurs the pores nicely. Look at that, you can see the difference for sure. I'm trying not to use too much. So that was everything that I pulled out to try today. So let's run through all the products that I used. So for foundation, primers, and concealer, both of the primers, love. They still look fantastic. Foundation and concealer look really good too. I feel like I'm matte, but I'm not too matte. And I haven't sprayed my face with Fix Plus or anything like that. I think it looks, my skin looks really good. Definitely will be pulling out those products to use them again. For the bronzers, I think both of these are gorgeous. I use the Hourglass one almost daily still anyways, but when I get a new bronzer, this one kind of sometimes gets pushed to the side, but I love both of those. I've already hit pan on this Tarte one, so it makes me want to finish it up completely. As far as the Milani blush, it looks really gorgeous. These are fantastic. I highly recommend them, and they're such a good price. And even the regular Milani blushes are really great too. And the highlighter looks stunning. Look at that. I love it. Love, love, love. The powder surprisingly looks really good on my skin. I don't look too matte. For the brow products, the ABH Brow Wiz and Brow Gel, I'm loving the way both of them are looking. I feel like this clear brow gel is also holding my hairs in place. I need to go back to this because I literally never found anything else that like locks them into place and they don't move. My brow hairs will just move all around all day if they aren't locked into place. And This is the only thing that I know of that does that for me. So I really need to go back to using that. The eyeshadow primer was nice. It's nothing for me to write home about. It's not something I would highly recommend unless you just don't have super oily eyelids. So if that's you, that probably works fine for you. The star of the show today, though, is this baby, and I think I've fallen back in love with this. I really think that this fall I'm going to use this a ton. I'm so excited. I feel like my eyeshadow looks fabulous, and I've never created a look like this with this palette. Like, I've never really dipped too much into the pinky tones, even though burgundies during the fall are one of my favorite types of eyeshadow. I just never have used this palette for that. So I think this fall, I'm going to try to use this quite a bit. But I love the way my eyeshadow looks today. I love the liner too. Well, it's eyeshadow liner, but I love that too. The Julep liner is great. I'm curious to see how long that lasts in the waterline. I feel like I don't wear eyeliner in my waterline very often anymore, so it's hard for me to gauge, but I feel like nothing stays in my waterline for a super long time. Like, nothing that I've tried, even things that are supposed to be really great. So I don't judge too hard on that because I always have to reapply it anyways. And last but not least is the lip products. I still love MAC lip pencils. They are one of my go-tos. These just mauve-y, like nude fall shades were super popular, and I fell into the hype, and to me they're worth the hype. I love MAC liners and lipsticks too. For the Jouer lip cream, I think it looks really good. It's really comfortable for a liquid matte lipstick. I typically don't wear these anymore. Even when they were all the rage, I wore them, but I was never the biggest fan of matte lips. I've always been a gloss girl. I do love a matte lip in the fall time. I think it looks really nice, but I'm probably not going to go back to using these like a ton. But it's nice to use it every once in a while, and I think it looks really great. If you're looking for a nice formula that isn't too expensive, I want to say these are like 16 or 18 bucks, and there's tons of people that have codes on YouTube for Jouer. I think Miss Lola Lynn and Young Wild and Polished, and even like Manny MUA and Laura Lee all have codes with them. Really great products from Jouer. I feel like they're a super underrated brand, and they need more hype. All right, y'all, that's it for this video. Let me know down in the comments below what you thought and how you feel about these products. Is there anything in here that you own that you love, or does this make you want to pick something up that's been out for a while? Also, leave any video requests down below, and if you haven't already, please subscribe and like and comment. It helps me out. Hit the notification bell too. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Thanks. Bye.